covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 5.
Above all, let us have the courage, like the survivors and families here today, to carry on no matter how dark the night or how difficult the day.
Happening right now on WXII 12 News at 5, remembering 9/11.
12 years after the terror attacks on American soil, how people across the country, including here in the Piedmont Triad, are honoring the victims. Good evening. Our nation paused this morning, as it has for the last 12 years, to remember the terror attacks in New York, at the Pentagon, and in rural Pennsylvania.
Memories and emotions are still raw for the families of the nearly 3,000 victims. In New York City, a bell rang at 9:59 a.m., marking the time when the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed less than an hour after it was hit by one of the hijacked airlines. A moment of silence followed, with people standing still, saluting, bowing their heads, or placing hands on their hearts. The reading resumed, but then stopped again when the bell tolled one more time at 10:28 a.m., marking the moment the North Tower fell.
Marie Rose Abad. Andrew Anthony Abatin.
Also this morning, victims' family members and loved ones took turns reciting the names of those killed during the 9/11 attacks at an observance ceremony in New York City. President Obama marked the 12th anniversary of the September 11th attacks with a moment of silence at the Pentagon. President Obama conducted a wreath-laying ceremony in remembrance of the 184 people who were killed when American Airlines Flight 77 hit the Pentagon. A moment of silence was then held, followed by the playing of taps.
A memorial ceremony was also held in Shanksville, Pennsylvania today. It was at 10:30 a.m. United Flight 93 crashed into a field, killing 40 passengers and crew. United Flight 93 was traveling from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco when it was hijacked. 40 passengers and crew fought the terrorists who hijacked the plane. Those who died are credited with thwarting an attack on the nation's capital. One of the flight attendants on United Flight 93 was from the Piedmont Triad. Today at Eastern Randolph High School, Sandy Bradshaw was honored along with two fallen heroes who also graduated from Eastern Randolph. Army Specialist Christopher Botkowitz died in 2008 in Iraq. Lance Corporal Jacob Levy died in Afghanistan in 2011.
My stepson was shot in action. Sandy was in action because she was working her job. Berkowitz, he was killed in small arms fire. He was doing what he loved, what he'd always wanted to do. I can't say that I would die for my job, but these people were willing to do that.
This was the 12th year for the annual ceremony that involved the school's band, chorus, and junior ROTC.
The American flag has always been a symbol of our nation's strength and resilience, and that was especially true after the attacks. As our Veronica White shows us tonight, this morning Old Glory was flying high along an interstate here in the Triad in honor of the first responders on 9/11.
This 1,800 square foot flag will be by the interstate for most of the day today after a local businessman and fire department decided to get together to try to figure out what they could do to honor the victims and first responders of 9/11. Tony Golding with Golding Farms Foods and the Clemens Fire Department came up with the idea. The flag was displayed today off of I-40 next to the Golding Farms building close to Louisville Clemens Road all morning. Then it was taken to the fire department for a ceremony. Community members, 3rd and 4th grade students, and local officials attended. Now crews are taking the flag back out to the display spot, and it'll stay there all day. The idea is to get folks to take a moment to remember.
And just stop and think how valuable our freedom is, the price we pay for it, and then what happened on 9/11, you know, just breaks my heart. People going by I-40 are blowing their horns, you know, been blowing them all morning, you know, and so which means that they are getting what we meant for it to be.
They plan to display the flag every year from now on. In Clemens, Veronica White, WXII 12 News.
A local group says it wanted to take September 11th and do something good. Whole Man Ministries is trying to help area veterans in need feel complete again. Ravu has a story from Winston-Salem.
A heck of a block party today here on Cameron Avenue. Of course, you've got your food, that's mandatory. Next to that, a sea of orange. Around 80 or so Home Depot employees, they actually have the day off today, but they're here helping out with the landscaping at 5 dilapidated properties. The group in charge wants to allow homeless vets to live in these once they're fixed up, and they want it all done by November 11th, just in time for Veterans Day.
I'm just excited about it because I've been working on this now for 2 years.
The vision now starting to come to fruition. An eyesore that will turn into housing for 10 homeless vets. The groundwork being laid today as Homeland Ministries hosted a project kickoff event, reminding people there's still a long way to go.
That's the toughest part, finding the funds to make it happen. We need right now immediately to raise $14,500 for plumbing and electric materials.
A homeless vet in the area happened to walk over to see what the fuss was about. He says for someone in his position, this could be a doorway to jump-starting his life.
And they get a chance, they get another chance at life, and they get to try to move on and make things better for themselves.
I'm Rob Wu, WXII 12 News.
It has been 1 year since the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, which killed U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans. A powerful explosion today caused extensive damage to the Libyan Foreign Ministry building in Benghazi. No word on whether it's connected to the anniversary of the attack. Continuing coverage of the 12th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks coming up on WXII 12 News at 5 and 6. And for the latest news and headlines, just go to WXII12.com.
I had a little bit of a breeze out there this afternoon for all of those American flags flying. We've got mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. Just depends on where you are. Now in Lexington, you can see the sun shining off the top of the building there. Take a look at downtown Lexington along with the current temperatures, which are summer-like. Another hot day. We've got mostly sunny skies in Lexington, 85. Current temperature, winds blowing out of the south at about 5 miles an hour. It's still humid. Our highs this afternoon, once again, close to 90. 87 Winston-Salem, 88 in Greensboro. The difference from yesterday, you notice the clouds. We also have a couple of showers out there and a few thunderstorms earlier. You see this line sort of falling apart late this afternoon as it pushes to the south, but we still do have some wet weather. Heavy downpour right now just north and east of downtown Winston-Salem and west of Walkertown. It's kind of edging eastward toward the lake. We've also got a couple of showers out toward Louisville and down toward I-40. South of 421 over the southern part of Wilkes County, we had some wet weather. That now moving to the south. These storms are just now brewing over the western part of Grayson as well as Carroll counties. They're kind of staying put, so we're talking about heavy rains, possibility that we could actually see a little bit of flash flooding in some of those mountain towns depending on how long these storms hang around. They should be with us at least until sunset, and then we'll watch them fade away. So the forecast for this evening does have with it an isolated shower or thunderstorm, mainly in our western towns. They will fade away. We'll have warm, muggy conditions overnight and a little bit of fog as you start your day on Thursday. More storms in the forecast for tomorrow. I'll have details on that coming up.
New tonight, a Rockingham County detective who happened to be in the right place at the right time is credited with saving an accident victim from a burning car. And today, the victim and the hero who saved her were reunited at the hospital. Bill O'Neill has that story tonight, all new at 5 o'clock.
The detective is not comfortable with being called a hero, but the evidence from the accident scene clearly shows if she hadn't been at the right place at the right time, the woman she rescued could very well have lost her life.
I'm kind of hurting, but I'm thankful to be alive.
Alice Gwynn is in Moses Cone Hospital recovering from serious leg injuries suffered in the accident. The 75-year-old Virginia woman says she's looking forward to meeting the woman who rescued her.
Most definitely, I'd like to see Mary and thank her sometime in person for saving my life.
Detective Mary Jane Webb says she's never rescued anyone from a car before, not even when she worked as a first responder in Madison. She says at first the accident didn't look that bad, other than Alice Gwynn's badly damaged legs. But the situation soon changed.
After speaking with her and while trying to get a seatbelt out from around her, I realized that there was flames coming out from underneath the hood of the car and was coming up towards the windshield. I figured now was a good time to go ahead and get her out of there.
Detective Webb pulled Alice Gwynn from the burning car and then asked 2 people standing nearby to help her drag Alice Gwynn to safety. Webb says those 2 unknown helpers deserve credit for the rescue as well. Well, how's it feel to save someone's life?
It was a little overwhelming, to be honest with you. I don't think I did anything that any other first responder in this county wouldn't have done also. I'm just very glad that at that particular point in time I was at the right place at the right time and able to help her in the way that we did.
What would you like to say to Mary Jane Webb?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alice Quinn says the doctors tell her she'll make a complete recovery and will walk again one day soon. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill reporting. Back to you.
Thank you, Bill. The driver of the other car, Rosalina Rios Ruiz, and her 5-day-old baby were not injured in that accident, but authorities cited her for failing to yield and driving without a license.
New developments in last month's Amber Alert out of High Point. The godfather of 17-month-old Shylin Neal has been charged with misdemeanor child abuse. About 2 weeks ago, Michael Campbell admitted to leaving the little girl in his SUV outside the Food Lion on Brian Jordan Place with the key in the ignition. The SUV was stolen and was found after a nearly 12-hour search in the parking lot of a Greensboro apartment complex. Shylin was inside. So far, no arrests in the vehicle theft and kidnapping.
A candlelight vigil is planned for tonight to honor a local teacher who died over the weekend after she was shot last month. 62-year-old Larissa Armstrong was a teacher at Wellborn Academy of Science and Technology in High Point. She was shot August 29th outside her apartment on Adams Farm Parkway in Greensboro. That vigil will be held tonight at 6:30 at the Guilford County Courthouse on South Eugene Street in downtown Greensboro. Right now, authorities in Davidson County are searching for the panhandler who they say stabbed a truck driver this morning. This happened at a rest stop off of Interstate 85 just after 10:30 this morning. We're told that the victim was approached by a man asking for money. When the driver refused, we're told that the man pulled a knife and then stabbed the driver in the leg. Search is underway for the attacker, who the sheriff says ran into a wooded area.
2 men and a juvenile are accused tonight in the horrific death of a dog. According to authorities in Stokes County, the dog was killed after being dragged from behind a vehicle. Jose Lopez and Jonathan Evans, both of Sandy Ridge, face felony animal cruelty charges. The juvenile's name has not been released.
We are still waiting to learn the name and the condition of a man who was injured yesterday afternoon in Davie County. We're told he was working in a bucket truck on Revis Road when he was badly shocked. We do know he was taken to Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center for treatment. Winston-Salem police are back on the scene of an assault from earlier this week. Investigators say that overnight Sunday, a man was attacked at 1st Street and Martin Luther King Drive. He remains at Wake Forest Baptist, and we're told his condition has gotten worse. His name's not yet been released.
A fire investigation continues tonight in Kernersville. Firefighters say something sparked flames in the ductwork of Fenzer Roller Company on Graves Street. No one was hurt.